Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagadguru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to the Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to the 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally and internationally, and I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world. And once again, today is day number 5. Lord Sri Krishna welcomes you to His Sri Krishna Janmashtami celebrations held at his residence, the Sri Narayan Dham, here in Durban. And we say this with absolute happiness and absolute bliss. And I remember on the 10th of October 2013, when I started my very first Satsang, at Resmount Primary School, I said to myself that right here in Reservoir Hills, there are so many ready-built, big-name international ashrams. There are so many ready-built, big-name international ashrams surrounding me. I am in a classroom that was full of filth with the children during the day, which I went on my knees and I cleaned. And Mataji went to work so that we could buy Prasad and food for the devotees. Our business had crashed fully. So I was on my knees. I borrowed some liquid that could shine the wooden floors from the caretaker. And I promised to pay him some money on the following week. So I had taken a walk down from Monroe Drive, and Mataji jumped off after work. But he had a curtain like that with those lights put up in the front, and my late friend Shanta, he bought a roll of decor which we ran from this end to that end. I had 3 color globes that was changing the colors all the time. And unfortunately, we do not have a lot of photographs, but a lot of photographs were taken. I think we do have some video. But nothing deterred me. Absolutely nothing deterred me. I sat in a classroom. Our first amount of devotees were 15. We had 15 devotees. I did not give a discourse. I brought my big screen. I still had a big screen at that point in time. So I brought my big screen and I played Guruji's bhajans. The thought was at that point in time, if there are already about 3 or 4 well-established ashrams in Reservoir Hills, what impact would I make in a classroom? Eight years later, this ashram, the Sri Narayan Dham, is beamed around the world. This ashram today is the only functional ashram in Reservoir Hills since COVID-19 started. This ashram is the only ashram of its kind on the African continent. This ashram, the Sri Narayan Dham, is the only ashram of its kind, both in knowledge and in potency, on the African continent. And I can also say it stands in head and shoulders with the big ashrams from India. Yet our humble beginnings was in a insignificant classroom. How is this possible, Sri Satish? Just in 8 years, this ashram beams a morning arti live around the world, every morning. All our satsangs are captured live and beamed around the world. At one point in time, we were in an insignificant classroom in Reservoir Hills with giant ashrams around us. That time we did not have an ashram. We did not have an ashram. Today, the Sri Narayan Dham has put Reservoir Hills, Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, and South Africa on the world map. Has it not? From an insignificant satsang in an ordinary classroom, today the whole world knows 28 Varsity Drive, Reservoir Hills. Do they? How this is possible? Sri Siddharth. Whilst Sri Satish and Sri Siddharth is thinking, I want Sash to remove a face mask. And I want to see a face because I said, if you miss a satsang, if you miss a satsang, it must be more devastating than the death of your closest person. Yes, I can see Sash. Dave, if there's any acting vacancies, send Sash. She is going to pass with flying colors, especially when they give her sorrowful and sad scenes. She'll play that part very, very well. Sash, Guru is joking. I hope you felt vacant yesterday when you could not make satsang. You felt something was missing. You must start feeling. You must miss the Sri Narayan Dham even when there is no satsang. Even when there is no satsang. You must miss Sri Narayan Dham all the time. Why am I telling you this? Because we already declared that your Creator is resident here. Your Creator is resident here. This material universe was created constitutionally for you to forget your Creator and subsequently remember Him. This material universe was created constitutionally for you to forget your Creator and subsequently remember Him. Those that are not here are still in that forgetful state. Those that have come through are in the beginning of their remembrance state. You understand? No individual can change any constitution. We know that in the material world. Yes or no? So this constitution by the Supreme Lord cannot be changed. It can only be followed. So those that are not in remembrance of the Supreme Lord, it is their constitutional position. It is their constitutional position. But those of you that has come into contact with the devotee of the Supreme Lord, then you are now surpassing your mode of ignorance. You are surpassing the mode of ignorance and you are entering the mode of understanding. This is a very, very difficult concept to understand. That God created the material universe, He inserted all of you inside for you to forget Him. And then remember Him. This is the game of material life. This is the game of material life. You have a choice, those of you that are within my range, either through this discourse or physically, to start your journey towards the Supreme Lord. To start your journey towards the Supreme Lord. This journey towards the Supreme Lord is prescribed by the Supreme Lord Himself. That is why we said, the Sri Narayan Dham, we will follow injunctions as prescribed by the Supreme Lord Himself. Okay? And in the Bhagavad Gita, the most valuable verses of the Bhagavad Gita, I'm going to read to you now. I'm going to read to you now. From the 700 verses of the Bhagavad Gita, I'll try and read 300 tonight. I'll try and read 300 tonight. That is why we have enough time. After he became Sri Satish, he's pro-ashram. Pro-ashram. So I'd like to greet Sri Vishwadhar Ramanuj Das. I'm always one step ahead of him, Jessica. You can ask him privately why, all right? Let's see if he's brave and bold enough to tell you, all right? Chapter 4, verse 33. The sacrifice of knowledge is superior to material sacrifice, full stop. O Arjuna, comma, all actions and everything else culminate in knowledge. What do you understand by this? To learn to sacrifice your time and coming to the satsang and sitting down like Sri Satish and learning is greater than donating R1,000,000 somewhere. Is greater than donating R1,000,000 somewhere. Verse 34. To know this knowledge, verse 34, know this by prostration, questioning, and by service. Full stop. The wise, who have realized this truth, will instruct you in knowledge. So number one, knowledge is more superior than all the sacrifices that you can make. Number two, there's a direct instruction. KNOW. Know this by prostration, questioning, and by service. The wise, who have realized the truth, will instruct you in knowledge. I want you to underline two words here. The very first word, know, is an instruction. Lord Sri Krishna is instructing you, he is telling you, know this by prostration. He is not advising you, you may know this by prostration. He is instructing you, know this by prostration. And further down in the verse, another instruction, will instruct you in knowledge. The wise, who have realized the truth, will instruct you in knowledge. He does not say may instruct you in knowledge. Are you understanding? So Lord Sri Krishna is instructing you, Sri Satish, to find a bona fide spiritual master who has realized the absolute truth. Prostrate means surrender to him, both through physical prostration, you humble yourself and you destroy your ego. I, the great Satish, from the courts of Chatsworth, am now bowing fully on the floor for a guru in human form. What happens to that great Satish in court? He becomes a humble servant of the Guru. And that's how, through that prostration, you break your ego. You break your ego. It does not matter how many billions you have in your bank account. When you come in the presence of a bona fide spiritual master, you have to prostrate. The spiritual master must not prostrate for your millions in the bank. That's what's happening to 99% of the gurus in the world today. Yes or no? You, the multi-millionaire, zillionaire, billionaire, you must prostrate to the bona fide spiritual master. You must break asunder your ego. You must break asunder your ego, and you must serve the spiritual master variously through various types of services. This is an absolute instruction. This instruction is absolute. Then verse 35, he says, knowing which, O Arjuna, you will not fall again into delusion in this way. By that knowledge, you will see all beings without exception in yourself and then in me. Which knowledge? That knowledge which you get from the bona fide spiritual master. Verse 36. Sri Satish, this is not for you, but you may listen. Even if you be the most sinful of all sinners, you will cross over all the sins by the boat of knowledge alone. You follow in the context in which Lord Sri Krishna is presenting you the most important facets of the Bhagavad Gita. Knowledge is the most important asset in your life. That most important asset in your life you can only attain from a guru. And that knowledge that you gain from a guru will burn all your or negate all your sinful actions. No matter how sinful you were in your life, no matter what wrongs you did to your husband, if you continue listening to the Guru, all that wrongs will be wiped out. And this is confirmed in verse 37. Just as burning fire turns fuel to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge turn all karma to ashes. How simple is this? Can it get more simpler? You don't have to pierce, Dev Bhai, limes and anything on your back. You don't have to pull any heavy weight. You don't have to carry anything anywhere. You don't have to do all of those things to become sinless. All you have to do, due diligence, find the right spiritual teacher, surrender to that teacher. And surrender means total surrender. Whether the teacher tramps your head, Satish Bhai, or tramps your face, or kicks you around like a ball. Once you have totally surrendered, it means you are in the custody of the spiritual master. Like a criminal that was being chased by a policeman. And I remember doing this many times. 3 shots in the air, Siddharth, and not too far from the criminal, not pointed at the sky, somewhere close to him, one past this ear, one past that ear, one past the head. And he'll stop dead in his tracks. And I'll say, hands up, turn around, on the floor. Hands up, turn around, on the floor. Then I used to jump on him a little bit to subdue him. Then take his 2 arms in a decent way behind his back and handcuff him. Then he was in my custody. And I'm using the same approach here in this ashram. Same approach. I'm sending the bullet past your 2 ears Those are warning shots. And I'm telling you, surrender. And when you surrender to the Guru, you belong to the Guru, not to your ego. This is why we don't have those thousands of people still here. Because they belong to the ego and not to the Guru. If you belong to the ego, no matter how much of transcendental knowledge I send your way, it will never burn your sins. And this is why you'll find that nobody that has left this ashram, I made everyone do something for this ashram. Leave smoking, leave drinking, leave gambling. And they were here for many years. They were here for many years. The minute they left this ashram, they back in casino, big beer in their hand, long cigar. Both men and women. Both men and women. Why? Their sins were not burnt. They were only put on hold because they had not surrendered their ego. The ego was still with them. So when I gave them a few smacks here and there, the ego got insulted and they left the ashram. Pramila, Guru always smacks and boots and kicks. Always smacks and boots and kicks. This is a smacking, booting, kicking satsang. Because my job is to subdue your resistance by handcuffing you and keeping you in my custody so that you can get transcendental information and eradicate and burn your sins. That is my job. And who gave me the job, Satish Bhai?
Lord Sri.
And how do you know that, Satish Bhai? How do you know that, Satish Bhai?
By the scriptures.
Through the scriptures, yes. Verse 38. For there is no purifier here equal to knowledge. Here again, all of you, Sanatan Dharmis, listen to this. There is no purifier here equal to knowledge. He that is perfected in karma yoga finds this of his own accord in due time. You can go to the Ganges 1,000,000 times. You can make 1,000,000 rods. You can make 1,000,000 puris. You can pull 1,000,000 chariots. You can fast for 1,000,000 days like our Sri Siddharth. All is bull. All is, who saying that? Hemita, who is saying that? Yes, because the Lord is saying, for there is no purifier here. Here means in this material universe, equal to knowledge. Equal to knowledge. And then 39. He who has faith, comma, who is intent on it, comma, and who has mastered his senses, comma, attains knowledge. Full stop. Having attained knowledge, comma, he goes soon to supreme peace. He goes soon to supreme peace. And I can see my Sri Satish on his way to supreme peace. As soon as he ... And the Lord is also saying this. Hear me very carefully what the Lord is saying in verse 40. Everything is said by the Lord, repeated by the Guru. Verse 40, the Lord is saying, the ignorant, the faithless and doubting one perish. For the doubting one, there is neither this world, nor that beyond, no happiness. And I want to repeat this. Verse 40, the ignorant, the faithless and the doubting one perish, semicolon. For the doubting one, there is neither this world, nor that beyond, no happiness. Who is saying this? The Supreme Lord Himself. This is one of the reasons He took His birth, to tell you verse 40. To tell you verse 40. Okay, any questions up until this point? Sri Siddharth, you have not been here. And I see from all my satsangs, I had a satsang on Friday, Mother Lakshmi, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. From 5 satsang, he only liked 2. Because he sent me a WhatsApp. He sent me 2 WhatsApps on 2 days, telling me we enjoyed, my wife and I enjoyed this satsang. So I want to ask him and his dear wife, what about the other 3 discourses? Because here the Sri Narayan Dham, 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Now they making it 3. So they are answerable now collectively. In this case, we'll make them same like Sriman Narayan. Mother Lakshmi, Lord Narayan, one entity. So we'll make Siddhartha and his wife one entity in this violation. Even when the discourse is not good, Sri Siddhartha, you're supposed to send a WhatsApp message. What a beautiful satsang. Now my data is going to get finished, because morning Arti, what a beautiful Arti in the morning, Acharyaji. And everything we do on Facebook, I think Siddhartha and his wife is going to make sure. So we're saying that this is the Sri Krishna Janmashtami week, Gita week, and we must rightfully expound the knowledge that Lord Sri Krishna gave when he was down here on earth some 5,000 years ago. All right? And I want to continue with a few more sentences, because you'll notice in this week I tied Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sriman Narayan, the Sri Narayan Dham, and myself through scriptures. I'm binding us as an entity through scriptures. You think it is right to do that? Because I'm often making bold declarations, then I can't make these declarations from the air. I have to validate these declarations that I am making, because I have a transcriber here that puts these headings, and I have to watch what I say, because she boldly puts these headings out there to the world. Okay? So when I declare, I have a declarer transcriber, and she has no fear of putting these as headings. Then I have to come back and consolidate with scripture, which is what the Lord wants. That is why He has provided us with scripture, so that whoever claims to be a guru, whoever opens a temple or whoever opens an ashram, then that temple or ashram or guru or pandit must be declared in the scriptures. If a temple, a guru, a pandit cannot be found in the scriptures, then he should not be followed. Don't you think? If an educator teaching at a school is not registered with the Department of Education, can she be called an educator? Okay. And this is Lord Sri Krishna speaking, 11th canto, chapter 29. And he's speaking to Uddhava, and I quote, "Thus have I related to you, dash, both in brief and in detail, dash, a complete survey of the science of the absolute truth." Now listen to the word the Lord is using. Nikhil, what's wrong? Listen to the word the Lord is using. Let me start again. Thus have I related to you, dash, both in brief and in detail, dash, a complete survey of the science of the absolute truth. And you heard me stating, since time immemorial in my discourses, I always state that our discourses is absolute science. Now you can hear the Supreme Lord corroborating me in this verse. Can you hear? Even for the Devis and Devtas, this science is very difficult to comprehend. And I want you to understand the significance of the previous verses that I read to you in terms of the position of the Guru. And there's a continuation in the Srimad Bhagavatam of Lord Sri Krishna himself, who is stating that this knowledge, which you can find at the feet of your Guru, is even difficult for the Devis and the Devtas to understand. What is the position on this? What is the Lord trying to tell you? That it is useless worshipping the Devis and Devtas if they don't understand this science in its perfection. How will it nourish you spiritually? Is he saying this? And he's also saying, for you to be spiritually nourished, you must surrender to a bona fide spiritual master. And again, since time immemorial, I'm pleading with you, forget the Devis and Devtas. They are cosmic administrators subordinate to the Supreme Being. Get connected to the Supreme Being, then only can you be spiritually nourished. Because those who you are running for nourishment, they need nourishment themselves. How can they nourish you? And who is saying this? Shanti? Who is saying this? The Lord. All right, not the Guru. Guru is like this mic. Whatever the Guru is saying, this mic is repeating to the amplified system. Just like that, Guru is like this mic. Whatever the Lord is saying, the Guru is saying through his amplified system. That is, how many watt amp you rate me as?
Mean decibels.
Decibels. Text 24. I have repeatedly spoken this knowledge to you with clear reasoning. Full stop. Anyone who properly understands it will become free from all doubts and attain liberation. And in the same way, the Guru has been clearly explaining all his knowledge with proper reasoning. The day you remove your ego, Jessica, and say, I am Jessica Pandey Ramcharan, and just say, I'm a devotee of my Guru, that's a day everything will become peaceful in your life. Kill Jessica. Jessica, what you must do? Kill Jessica and just become a humble servant of your Guru. And that's the day you'll become peaceful. Meena, kill Meena and just become a simple servant of your Guru. And that's the day you'll become peaceful. There's all the secrets the Guru is revealing to the world, not only to you seated down here in Reservoir Hills. These are secrets I'm revealing to the world. They may not find it today, but it's going to be in the world for the next 427,000 years. And they will find it someday when they go through these series of discourses. Text 25. Anyone who fixes his attention on these clear answers to your questions will attain to the eternal, confidential goal of the Vedas, the supreme truth. 26. That is, in case you're wondering again. One who liberally disseminates this knowledge among my devotees is the bestower of the absolute truth, and to him I give my very own self. Who is saying this? What is Lord saying? The preacher. The preacher is given the Lord himself. And to place on record, we started our satsangs 10th October 2013. By 2014, I was doing 4 satsangs a week. 2014, 4 satsangs a week around Durban. In 1 year, from 2014, beginning of 2014 to end of 2014, how many satsangs that would have been? 200. 2 years, 400. 3 years, 600. And I think around there we stopped. And then we continued with 3 satsangs, 2 satsang, 1 satsang. Up to this current point, how many satsangs you think I did in 8 years? In excess of 1,000. Go on your YouTube, go in your channels, go and do an analysis and show me one guru in this Kali Yuga in 8 years did in excess of 1,000 satsangs on his own. All of you are brand new here, isn't it? Very few. Who's from those besides Vasudeva is not here today? From those days. And we did these 1,000 satsangs in the worst human conditions. I lived up a driveway 100 meter long, 45 degrees steepness. We should come back from satsang at about 10 and Mataji and myself should walk up this 100-meter driveway with music boxes on our head, with food bags on our head, all these frames we used to take on our head. We should only stop around 1:30. 3 years, 600 satsangs. 3 years in a row, 600 satsangs in a row, whether it was raining or not raining. Myself, Mataji, 4 times a week, walked up that driveway. All of you understand? You think the Lord would have not given himself to a dedicated pair who did over 600 satsang in the most difficult conditions. Before that, we were owning Mercedes and Jaguars and you name it. But when we started satsang, I had a broken down VW. I bought this VW so I could carry passengers from the areas that I was having satsang. This VW should just make it to go to satsang, come back into Monroe Drive and break in the bottom of the driveway. Now you can't leave your musical instruments, anything in the bottom of the road. So we had to haul it up the road. Next morning when you start the VW, king, vrrr, and we just drive it up the driveway. So we endured the hardest of austerities and penances in conducting these satsangs. So today you can come and sit in one of the most auspicious satsangs on this planet because we earned it. We earned it. Mataji and I earned it. At this satsang, we just have to wish and it is fulfilled. We just have to wish and it is fulfilled. So I was in my kutir and I was sleeping today because I said once Aarti starts, then I have no energy. And I was feeling like a nice chocolate, some nice cakes. So when I say this, tomorrow everybody will bring cakes. I'll have cakes here for 2 weeks. And for 2 months, I'll be listing. All right? So as I got up and I thought about this, Mataji told me Radim was here with a whole plastic container full of chocolate cake, and I had it with a tall glass of milk. You understand? You just have to think and wish, and it is here. All right? Because we have worked for it. If you work for what we worked, don't you think you'll also be in the wishing point? Don't you think you'll also be in the wishing point if you worked? But you don't have to go through all that austerities and penances that Mataji and I went, and I didn't have to go to the 12-year austerities and penances that Guruji went to. You understand? All you have to do is submit yourself to the absolute truth of the Sri Narayan Dham. That's all you have to do. And allow the Sri Narayan Dham to reel you in, like Jaws. You saw Jaws 1, Jaws 2, Jaws 3, Jaws 4, all right? You all saw those Jaws? Yeah. Let the Sri Narayan Dham reel you in. Meena, so you will have to use a huge net. A huge net. I won't send a normal bait for you. All of you understand? Let me complete. When you come to this satsang, forget about time. Because the longer you spend with the Lord, the more beneficial to who? In fact, you all should be fighting with me, Acharyaji, why can't we stay the night here? Don't you think some of you should be asking? Verse 27. He who loudly recites the supreme knowledge, comma, which is the most lucid and purifying, comma, becomes purified day by day, comma, for he reveals me to others with the lamp of transcendental knowledge. Loud enough, or you want to increase the volume? You think I'm loudly disseminating this knowledge? Text 28 says, no, your name is not here, says. But I want you to listen to this verse. Anyone who regularly listens to this knowledge with faith and attention, comma, all the while engaging in my pure devotional service, will never become bound by the reactions of material work. You understand? Work means action. No matter what material action is taking place here, all right? And even if somebody could do it, Satish Bhai, that will never affect, it will never affect you. Then I'm jumping to text 30. And this is what the Lord is stating. And this is why you see our ashram do not have those thousands and thousands. Guru has an answer for everything. And the Lord is instructing you, his devotee Uddhava, and listen to this verse. You should not share this instruction with anyone who is hypocritical, comma, atheistic or dishonest, comma, or with anyone who will not listen faithfully, comma, who is not a devotee, comma, or who is simply not humble. Who is saying this? The Lord. But I can't close this door. So whoever comes in, however they come in, and however much these qualities which the Lord does not want me to share with those people, I have no control over. Sri Satish, you and Jessica come, you come with absolute purity, Jessica comes with absolute impurity. How do I stop the wife? How do I stop the wife? But do you understand why people cannot stick around? Because it's not me. And every time people left here, I told you it is not me. Who it is? And the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord finds a way to kick out all hypocritical, atheistic or dishonest people who comes to this satsang. Because he has given himself to the Guru. No one can harm this Guru. No one can harm this Guru. Because the Guru's personal guard is the Supreme Lord himself. The Guru's personal guard is the, can it be any other way? Sri Satish, it can't. Do you understand? Because 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Those thousands that left here, they all took the Guru on. Everyone who leaves here, they go join that 1,000. And about 3 years ago, I gave a very appropriate example. You all know the Guru is full of top examples. Guru is full of top examples. You agree, Dave? Yes. So I said, when the Supreme Lord does not want you, he presses one button and you are flushed away. Listen to this example. You are? Is this example graphic in your mind, Sri Siddharth? You wasn't here when I gave it before. Do you know what gets flushed away when you press a button? Especially with this new flushing systems. Before it used to be a handle, and before that it used to be a chain. I'm just trying to, if you slow in catching up. Alright, I'm giving you clues. Alright? So imagine in a community, when all those people get flushed or all those entities get flushed, don't they all land together? Don't they all land together? So similarly, you have in this satsang, all those people that get flushed, they land there, all together in one big pit, one huge pit. And they have tried every trick in the book to bring this guru down, even as far as going to India, even going to Guruji's ashram. But they could not shift one hair on the Guru's semi-bald head. Why? Shanti? Why, Shanti? Because the God, the Lord has given Himself to the Guru. And it is His duty to protect the Guru because the Guru is employed by Him. All of you understand? You understand in Satish Bhai? So every new set of people that goes out, get booted out. So something has started. Guru knows something has started. I don't know what the last set of people, and I don't know what their mentality is, because they witnessed the failure of every other set that tried to bring the Guru down. Then when they leave, they believe they have that potency to bring the Guru down. Then they go and reignite the pit. Then they get lost themselves in the pit that they reignited. And then you'll get somebody else after a few years or months. All right? So let me conclude. Sash is in a hurry today. You want to spend some time with Nikhil. Restaurants are open now, Nikhil, in terms of COVID restrictions. So the last verse, text 31, Prasad you can start back in. This knowledge should be taught to no one who is free from these bad qualities, comma. Okay, let me read this again. This knowledge should be taught to one who is free from these bad qualities, comma, who is dedicated to the welfare of Brahmanas, comma, and who is kindly disposed, comma, saintly and pure, full stop. And if common workers and women are found to have devotion for the Supreme Lord, comma, they are also to be accepted as qualified hearers. So the Lord is the prescribed. The Lord has prescribed without any ambiguity. These verses that I am reading to you is not ambiguous. It is spoken by the Lord in plain and simple words. Plain and simple words. If you want to prosper in whichever aspect of your life, then you have to join the Sri Narayan Dham for life and not for that aspect that you want to prosper in. Hear me again. If you want to prosper, then you have to join the Sri Narayan Dham for life and not only for that aspect that you want to prosper in. That aspect that you want to prosper in is very small for the Sri Narayan Dham. We want to give you prosperity in all its facets. But you have to be an investor. When you invest in big companies, what are your returns? But you have to have an investment. Can a company give you profits if you have no investment in that company? Then how you want to come to Sri Narayan Dham and just get profits without investing? Your investment is insignificant to the profit that you get from here. Your investment is insignificant to the profit that you get from here. The only requirement is surrender yourself to Supreme Lord. Attend satsangs of the Guru. Right now your problem might be bigger than you can love and accept the Lord. I understand. I understand. But tune your mind. Tune your mind so that one day God must become bigger than your problem. At the moment your problem is bigger than God. It's a human thing. It's a human thing. But tune your mind in such a way that one day God must become bigger than your problem. And the day God becomes bigger than your problem, you are problem free. All of you understand? You are problem free. Can I break this down any more to you? Nowhere in the world can you make a transaction without investing. Nowhere in the world you can make a transaction without investing. Why you expect to make a transaction with God without investing? I'm asking you. Why you think this should be different? You think God owes you, Premila? God does not owe anyone anything. You must make God owe you. Like what Mataji and I did for that 6 years, 4 satsangs, walking up a 100-meter, 45-degree steep driveway. We made God owe us. So we can just sleep in the room and wish, and it comes through. You have to make God owe you. But you don't have to walk a 100-meter steep driveway. You don't have to go and do 4 satsangs a week. You just follow the protocols of the Sri Narayan Dham. How easy it is. How simple it is. Premila, you have a problem with the celebrations of Sri Krishna Janmashtami on 30th. You believe 30th is the wrong date? Well, when you stop learning to talk in general and only listen to the Guru, and only listen to the Guru specifically, Sri Narayan Dham is celebrating Sri Krishna Janmashtami on Tuesday, because I am not a pop-up Guru and this is not a pop-up ashram. This ashram belongs to a sampradaya, and the Sri Sampradaya is celebrating Sri Krishna Janmashtami on the 31st of August, because we do not use the English calendar. They are using the placement of the stars. So Lord Sri Krishna's birthday starts on the 29th of August and it runs through up until 1:30 on Tuesday morning. So we will celebrate it on Tuesday as per instructions of our superiors, Premila. And once you start listening to superiors, Premila, and stop being a superior yourself, life will become very, very peaceful and beautiful. Jai Shri Krishna.